They didn't see him approach, they felt him. The ground trembled with every step. The wind bent toward his voice. Even fire seemed to whisper in his presence. He did not ride a horse. He walked, barefoot, robed in charms. And when he raised his war drum, no living hand struck it. Only the forgotten dead. He didn't roar. He didn't command. He looked at the battlefield, and the battle obeyed. Before the drums, before the fear, before kingdoms cursed his name, he was just a child, born in 1824, under a sky that refused to shine. His name was Fasawo. He didn't cry. He didn't move. He stared quietly at the world. His mother ran, terrified of the strange marks on his body, of the calm in his eyes. She left him. But the gods didn't. A Babalawo found him, raised him not like a son, but like a shrine. Not with lullabies, but with incantations. By 15, he could summon the Odu of Ifa. By 20, he forged his first charm of death. By 30, he no longer needed weapons, only his name. In 1862, war broke out between Ijesa and Ifon. The forest split with battle cries. But in the shadows, he walked in, not as a soldier, as a storm. Ogadengbe saw him, allied with him. And in 1873, during the great Igbo Alahun campaign, Aduloju helped tear through enemy lines like fire through dry yam leaves. They said the sun dimmed when he marched, that no enemy saw him and lived to speak, that swords shattered near him, that bullets melted midair. They feared his presence more than his weapons, because his greatest power was what followed him. When he became Balogun of Ado Ekiti, he built more than an army. He carved a camp out of forest and fear. At Imesi Lashigidi, warriors were not trained. They were reborn. Farms fed soldiers. Shrines fed their weapons. Spies came. None left. He conquered Ise. He crushed Akoko. Then came the Great War, the Ekiti Parapo War, also called the Kiriji War, the longest and bloodiest war in Yoruba history. From 1877 to 1886, an alliance of Eastern Yoruba states, Ekiti, Ijesa, Igbomina, and others, rose to stop Ibadan's domination. They brought cannons, they brought chiefs, they brought years of rage. They called on Ado Ekiti. They begged Aduloju to lead his warriors into the Holy Alliance, but he refused, not because he lacked courage, but because Ifa had spoken. He had once sealed an Ogboni blood vow with Are Latosisa, Ibadan's general. To fight him would break that vow. And Aduloju didn't fear war, he feared the gods. Still, Ado's refusal changed everything. Some saw Aduloju as wise, others saw him as a traitor to the Ekiti cause. But all agreed, his decision tilted the balance of the war. While Ogadengbe led the Kiriji campaign, Aduloju waged his own war in the shadows, raiding Akoko towns, striking through Yagba lands, enslaving, burning, conquering. He built his own kingdom while others bled. They say he didn't need the Kiriji War. The Kiriji War needed him. His enemies feared night more than battle, because when the moon vanished, so did their warriors. Some were found, eyes missing, ears bleeding. Some weren't found at all. They said his shadow moved when he stood still, that his enemies heard drumming before their minds broke, that his true army wasn't alive. By the 1890s, even the British called him a troublesome chief. They tried to silence him. They failed. In 1902, he died, not in battle, not by sword, but on his own land, on his own time, on his own terms. They buried his body, but his shadow never left. Even now in Ado Ekiti, elders say, when the air grows still, when birds scream without reason, when the drum beats with no hands, Aduloju has returned.